Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another lecture for A2 Computer Science 9618. Today will be the final installment or the final lecture for chapter number 13, data representation. Today we'll be discussing 13.3, floating point numbers, representation and manipulation. This topic is very important as every single paper 3 have one question of at least 4 marks from this topic. So let's see what this topic has to offer. Now basically, as you all know very well, a number with a decimal point is known as a floating point number, or a real number or a decimal number is in specific terms it is known as a floating point number. In denary numbers, you can either write them as decimal or you can write them in exponential or scientific notation, or sometimes this is known as standard form as well. Now in order, if you want to represent these numbers in binary, well, we have a method for that which is known as floating point numbers, because normally, as you know, binary numbers cannot have a sign. That's why we use 2's complement. Binary numbers cannot have symbols as well, such as decimal point, etc. So for that we use a special method that is known as floating point numbers, so that we can represent such decimal numbers in standard form or scientific notation in binary. The format for a floating point number is as follows. This is the first part, or this is this part of the number. This is known as mantissa, and this is known as radix multiplied by radix raised to the power of e, or exponent. In binary, the numbers are written as mantissa and radix, or mantissa and exponent. Now usually radix is always 2, because that's what is the base for binary is. So in paper, whenever we are talking about floating point numbers, we are concerned with two things: mantissa and the exponent. That's it. If you have to convert from binary into denary, you will be given these two values, mantissa and exponent. And if you are given a decimal number, you have to convert it in binary. Again, you'll only be asked to write mantissa and exponent. You won't really be needing to write the radix or the 2. The CIA format is usually 8-bit of mantissa and 8-bit of exponent. Like in total, you'll be getting a 16-bit number, but it can change. You can either sometimes it is 10-bit mantissa, 6-bit exponent, sometimes it is 12-bit mantissa and 4 bits of exponent, sometimes it is 8 and 8, and so on. Usually we don't get less than 8 bits for mantissa. Each 8 bits are in 2's complement format, no matter if you're writing the mantissa or you're writing the exponent. 1 at the start of mantissa would indicate a negative number, or a negative what you can say, negative number. 1 at the start of the exponent would indicate a power in negative. Effect of the changing the numbers of bits for mantissa and exponent. If you reduce the number of bits in mantissa, then your precision would be lost, your precision would be reduced. And if you increase the number of bits in mantissa, like you had 8 bits in mantissa, you increase it to 10 or 12, you would increase the precision. These are 2 little points of theory you should remember. Now we are going to see how to convert floating point numbers into denary and vice versa. So first of all, if you're given a denary number and you're asked to write mantissa and exponent for it, then what you need to do is break them into 2 parts. 4 is the whole number part, whereas 0.25 or 0.25 is the fractional part. Now we have to convert this number in binary separately. First of all, let's talk about the integral part or the whole number part. Now in order to convert 4 into binary, you can simply use any method. Either you can use the LCM method, or you can directly do it. 100, that would be 4. Now for the fractional part, that is 0.25, multiply, you will have to multiply this given number by 2 and take the one bit which appears before the decimal point. Follow the same procedure unless and until you reach a stage where the number becomes 1.0. For example, 0.25 multiplied by 2, you get 0.5. Over here, the number before decimal is 0, so you will take 0 and multiply 0.5 with 2 again. Next, in the next step, you'll get 1.0. Now you'll stop, you don't need to multiply anymore, and this time you'll take 1. So 10 will be the final answer. Sorry, not 10, 01. The first number will be written first and the next number will be written on the right hand side. So 01 will be your answer. Now you can combine both of them. For the integral part, whole number part, we had the answer as 100. You can write that 0.01. This is the fractional part. Now this is not our final answer. Once you have this number, you will need to invert it. What is the meaning of inverting it? You'll replace 1 with a 0 and you'll convert a 0 into a 1. So you'll get this. Now you will need to add 1 to it. Basically what you are doing over here, you are converting it into the 2's complement counterpart for it. So you invert it, add 1 to it, it becomes this. Now you get this number 011.11. Technically, whenever we are writing the answer for mantissa and exponent, we have to make sure it is in the normalized form. Or in simple terms, you can say that this is our answer, but we cannot write it as it is, because we have to make sure for a positive number our binary number starts from 0.1 and for a negative number it starts from 1.0. Right now it is 011.1. This number is not starting from 0.1, so that means you will need to move this point 2 places onto the left hand side. So it becomes 0.1111 or 0111. This will be your value for mantissa. You can add extra 0 on the right hand side according to the given boxes or the given places, but this will be your answer. Now you had to give 2 jumps to the point on the left hand side, so exponent will be 2 or 10. Extra zeros will be placed on the left hand side. That will be your answer. Let's say if you had an 8-bit of mantissa, so 1, 2, 3. This will be your answer for mantissa of 8-bit, and let's say we have 8-bit of exponent. Then this will be your answer. And now remember, for exponent you took the point, you give the point jumps on left hand side. You will be giving, you will be writing extra zeros on the left hand side as well, so that basically the point took 2 jumps. So you have to make sure that whatever binary number you write as exponent, it represents the value 2 in binary. This will be the value of exponent of 8 bits. And this will be the value of mantissa of in 8 bits. Now you can add or add or remove zeros if you are given a different number of bits for mantissa or exponent in your question. For example, if you have a whole number 92 and you can simply convert it into binary. Now this number does not have a point, or this is not a fractional number. If you convert 92 into binary, it will become this, positive 92 into binary. As you know, if a number is a whole number, we consider the point to be at the end. In order to make it into a standard form, the normalized form, the point will need to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jumps, so that it can, the normalized way or the standard for monthicite, it must start from 0.1. Now since you're giving the point 7 jumps on the left hand side, that means the value of your exponent will be 7 or 111. This will be the value for your mantissa, and this will be the value for your exponent. You can add extra zeros in order to fill it up according to the question. If you are given a negative number such as negative 72, convert it into 2's complement. And again, you know, in order for a negative number, the number must start from 1.0. So in order to make it 1.0, you will have to give it 7 jumps on the left hand side. Hence your exponent will be 111. The denary value for that is 7. Oh, I guess this slide got okay. One thing to remember is, hold on, let me fix that. This is extra thing. Yeah, some fractional part numbers will not end up with 1.0 with the above method. Okay, this slide should have came after this. In floating number storage, the computer will allocate 23 bits for the fractional part. So it's enough to do the above method at most 23 times. Don't continue after that. For example, if you have 2.33, this is the number you're going to get. And that's the maximum a computer can store. You'll never get 1.0 completely, no matter how many times you multiply it with 2. But you cannot write your answer more than 23 times, or the fractional part cannot be greater than 23 bits, so you'll have to stop over there. And now, you know, when you're converting from binary to denary, what you need to do is, for mantissa, well, let's suppose this is your mantissa and this is your exponent. You can write mantissa like this, 1.00, and then you can write your exponent. First of all, convert the value of exponent into denary. So this is 111, that means exponent is 7. Now if you put 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 on exponent, you'll get positive 7. Now invert the given value for mantissa and add 1 to it, but retain the negative sign if it is a negative number. For example, over here mantissa is 1.0 1 1 0 0 0 1 1. This one in the beginning indicates a negative number. Invert this number but retain the negative sign. Like it would be 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 1 1 would become negative 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 0, and then add 1 to it, so the final answer becomes negative 0 1 1 1, sorry, 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1. Okay, now your exponent is supposed to be a positive number, so you will move the decimal 7 places to the right hand side. If it was a negative number, you would move it 7 places to the left hand side. So now after giving it 7 jumps, your number will become like this: 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 and then 0.01. Now convert it into denary. Convert it separately, the mantissa part separately and the fractional part separately. When you convert this into denary, retain the negative sign and it comes out to be negative 78. Now convert this into denary, it will become 0.25 or 1 over 4. So you can write your answer as negative 78.25 or negative 78 1 over 4, whatever suits you. I would say write it as negative 78.25. That's better. For a much better review, you can learn this table. The leftmost number in a mantissa has a value of negative 1. The second bit has a value of 0.5 or 1 over 2. The third one has 0.25. Fourth one has 0.125. Then the next one has 1 over 16, 0.0625. Now since you will not be having a calculator, you can just remember it as 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, 1 over 16, 1 over 32, 1 over 64, and so on. When we put place values from the right hand side towards the left hand side, we write them as 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. But when we are writing place values on the Mantissa from right hand side, then we write them in decimal form, like 1 over the first one is -1, then 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, 1 over 16, and so on. Normalizing the floating point representation of a number. Now there's a slightly different method given in the book. If you can want to remember that, sure, go ahead. If you can, if your brain is so much good at mental maths that you can instantly calculate the value of 1 over 128, fine, go ahead with that. Otherwise, I find this method to be much more easier and it works. So that's why I've taught this. I know in the book they have used some other method, but it's quite complex, to be very honest, without a calculator. So but yeah, it's your choice. Examiner is concerned with your answer. As long as method is correct, you'll get your marks. Normalizing the floating point representation of a number. Like I said, for a positive number, it should always, the Mantissa should always start with 0, 1 or 0.1. For a negative number, it should always start with 1.0 or 10. If the point is not in the beginning and the first word is not 0 or not 1, then you have to move the point around. You have to shift it around on the left or on the right in order to make it so. The bits in the Mantissa are shifted until we arrive at 1.0 or at 0.1, whatever is your case, whether you're going for a positive number or a negative number. And then accordingly, the value of the exponent must be adjusted. For example, normalize the given Mantissa and exponent. This is another type of question from this topic, although it comes a bit rarely. So for example, you're given this Mantissa and this exponent. Examiner says this is unnormalized version, normalize it. So first of all, what you will need to do, since this you will need to make it into, to shift it on the left hand side so that Mantissa becomes 0. Mantissa starts from over here, from a 0, 1. This 0, 1 gets in the beginning. For that, how many shifts you'll need to give it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll need to do it 6 shifts. Or since you're going on the left hand side, then exponent will be reduced by 6. Current value of the exponent is -25. If you convert it according to the rules of 2's complement, you'll get -25. This is -1. Then sorry, this is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and this would be -32. Add all of them together, you'll get -25. Now if you subtract -6 from it, -25 minus 6, it would become -31. So now the new value of exponent, or the normalized value of exponent, would become this 1000001 to reflect -31, and you'll write your new normalized value of Mantissa. You'll fill the remaining places with 0. I'll not go into the details of how shift works. You have already done that in chapter number 1. Now, why do we use normalization? It is used to store the maximum range of numbers in minimum number of bits or bytes. Because over here you can see how many bits, 6 bits are being wasted. If you normalize them or shift them, then you can utilize those 6 bits for precision. They allow very large or very small numbers to be saved with accuracy, or they avoid the possibility of many numbers having multiple representation. When you use the normalization applied on Mantissa or exponent, you'll always get a unique number for every decimal number. 2 or more than 2 numbers will not have the same value, but that can happen if you're following unnormalized Mantissa. Floating point numbers. The storage of certain numbers is an approximation due to the limitation in size of Mantissa. Like I said, Mantissa can be of 8 bits, less than 8 bits or more than 8 bits. But usually Mantis and exponent together are used in 16 bits only, or saved in 16 bits. This problem can be minimized when using programming languages that allow for double precision and quadruple precision. This basically means they use more number of bits for floating point numbers like 16 or 64 bits. If a calculation produces a number which exceeds the maximum possible value, an overflow error will be produced. This could occur when trying to divide by a very small number or even 0. When dividing by a very large number, this can lead to a result which is less than the smallest number which can be stored. This would lead to an underflow error. Sometimes in floating point numbers, if you try to divide a very large divide a value by a very large number, you can get a very minute number, such as let's say 1.2 into 10 to power minus 36 or something like that, like the numbers we usually get in physics or chemistry. Now if you try to save those numbers using floating point notations, you might fail because they are smaller than the smallest possible value that a computer allows to be stored in floating point numbers. This type of error, this would mean basically the answer you get will be all zeros for Mantissa. This is known as underflow error. Normalized binary floating point numbers can't. Okay, one problem with this is normalized binary floating numbers or floating point numbers, sorry, cannot store the number 0. This is because the Mantissa must contain the value 1.0 or 0.1, and that means it cannot store a complete 0. Underflow error: if the result of a calculation is a value too small to be stored in allocated number of bits, we call it as underflow error. This is the basic definition of underflow that you can write in your examination, and that's basically it. We have successfully covered everything that you need to know for 13.3, and overall we have completely finished chapter number 13. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Do let me know whether you like this or whether you learned something from it or not. I'll see you guys in the next lecture. We'll inshallah start chapter number 14. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.